Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Friday, November 21st. I'm KAHLIL with the details. A challenge is being put out to men in society not to fail or shy away from their responsibilities. The appeal comes from Minister of Gender Affairs Frederick Stephenson addressing a men's rally in North Leeward on Wednesday to commemorate International Men's Day. Stephenson told the gathering of mostly men that they have to stop the violence against women and set examples for their children.
Too many men in this country still believe in the old saying that if they don't beat their girlfriends or their wives, they don't love them. And some women believe in the same adage too, no? If the man ain't beat them, he ain't love them. But I want to challenge us and say to us that violence against our women should be a thing of the past.
According to the government minister, there is also a growing concern over sexual abuse against girls and to some extent boys.
Especially our girls who are underage. There are too many men who go around and molest our little children. This activity needs to stop. The ministry launched 2 years ago a campaign called Break the Silence. That campaign speaks that children who are sexually molested should have an avenue to report it, so that the persons who molest our girls and to some extent our boys are brought to the court and dealt with in the manner that they ought to.
Meanwhile, Minister Stephenson also urged parents not to condone abuse against their children.
Take bribes and they take monies in order to cover down the cases when they get to the court. And yet people turn around and say that you're not doing anything. But how can somebody be brought to justice if they do not go to the court and offer the evidence?
Candidate for North Leeward in the upcoming general elections, Carlos James, says it is very important that the role men play in families and society be recognized.
Some 16 years ago, I believe in Trinidad and Tobago, it was officially recognized, and we have about 60 countries worldwide who ascribe or proclaim to the qualities around International Men's Day. Some of them are mainly focusing, as you heard Anton described, on youth development or male development, on gender equality, men's health, and the role that men play within the family structure. We have to recognize that men have a greater role to play within our society, a greater role to play within our families. It is important that we also recognize that young men who were the underperformance at both primary and secondary level, we have to see our young men, our boys, given greater focus or emphasis at an educational and also at a professional level to accept the fact that men, our young men, also need that gender love and care.
Yesterday, the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines awarded students who performed well academically with scholarships. Managing Director of BOSVG, Derry Williams, says the bank's scholarship program, which has been running for some 26 years now, aims at awarding students for their exceptional performance at the CPEA and CSEC.
Many persons who have passed through this, as I said, and have taken up very important positions nationally, regionally, and I suppose at some point internationally. I can't think of anybody who's done so internationally. But the journey that you're on can take you to great heights, and we are very, very proud to be a part of providing this opportunity to you. I know your parents are proud of you, but I want to signal that Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are also proud of every last one of you.
He added that an additional component of the program is the support of children of employees.
Offer scholarship to the employees' children. We offer a full scholarship for the top 2 performers every single year, and then every single employee who has a child that has completed the common entrance exam receives a bursary. And these scholarships, like all of the other scholarships, they go straight up to the end of A-levels.
Community College Division of Arts wins Youth Tourism Colloquium. More stories on the local scene when the SVG-TV news continues after these messages. The Division of Arts of the Community College emerged the winners of the 2014 Tourism Youth Colloquium held yesterday. The event forms part of activities for Tourism Month being celebrated under the theme, Tourism is everyone's business, live it, love it, embrace it. Second place in the colloquium went to the Division of Technical Education, with third place being awarded to the Police Training School. Addressing the gathering at the event, the Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Cecil Mckie, says because of the importance of tourism to SVG, it is important to engage all sectors, including the youth, so that they can become ambassadors of tourism to the country.
We have to understand a couple of things. It is important not for us to be satisfied with the levels that we are at in tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but that we have to be even more competitive, because all of the other countries in the Caribbean depend on tourism. It is also the main economic earner for these countries. So they would also be looking at ways and means of improving. So we have to be on the cutting edge and a step ahead of them, so that we can have more cruise liners coming to the destination, we can have more yachts coming to the destination, and we can have more persons arriving by air. We'd have, of course, an excellent opportunity next year, 2015, to increase significantly our arrivals by air with the coming into being of the international airport. And I long for the day when we will be able to send the winning team from this exercise here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to do a presentation at CTO when they have their week of activities in New York.
A number of persons here are now better equipped to deal with mental health problems caused by the effects of trauma sustained by disasters, accidents, and deaths. These persons were awarded certificates after completing a 5-day training workshop on mental health organized by the Adventist Development Relief Agency and the Loma Linda University in California. Beverly Buckles of the Loma Linda University encouraged the participants to remain focused and to always keep in mind the reason that they are involved in this type of work.
You go forth, there's hard work to do as you build a team, as you pull together education and health and community and pastors and all the right communities, all of your communities, to be a part of a response for your nation. The hard work is to be colleagues. Sometimes that means you have to give up in order to gain something bigger than you had before, and that can take a lot. Sometimes that means all of the boundary issues and the power struggles and all the things that can get in the way of progress have to be put aside. And it can be a struggle. So I just ask each of you in your hearts to sense that commitment that's coming to when those struggles begin, as you go forward to build something bigger, that you do it with the heart of collegiality in its purest form, because the people that you're serving, that's the point.
One of the participants of the workshop expressed gratitude for the training.
I left early, so I might notice I had a funeral yesterday afternoon, and in my preaching at that sermon, I said that something like this, you know, just knock you out, traumatic situation like these kind of events, knock you out of what we call a resilient zone. I explained to the congregation, I said I'm coming straight from a coastal now, it's so wonderful. I said it knock you out of a resilient zone, and sometimes you could get knocked out on high and knocked out on low, but thank God for Jesus Christ. No, but truly, this workshop, you know, it's a wonderful workshop. Benefit me, and I believe all of us here under extension St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because now I could apply it in my ministry, and I'm someone on the front line meeting people every day in all aspect of life.
Members of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, along with other stakeholders, were engaged yesterday in an Energy Expo and Symposium at the Methodist Church Hall. The Green Business Day Expo and Symposium forms part of activities for CARICOM Energy Week, which is being held under the theme Achieving Climate and Economic Resilience Through Sustainable Development. Executive Director of the Chamber, Tony Regisford, used the opportunity to encourage all members of the Chamber to pay close attention to the developments in alternative energy and to keep up with the change in technology.
A lot of talk about geothermal. And this, of course, is a potential game changer. But what do we do between now and geothermal? Do we just stand still? No, we can't. There are lots of things that we could be doing. So it is in the interest of our membership of the Chamber to pay close attention to that space, see what the opportunities are. Some of the exhibitors here are showing you energy efficient bulbs, which I think are operating at with a 66% drop in terms of the energy that it consumes from incandescent bulbs. That is significant. So if for example, you are paying $100 just from the lights that you burn alone, and you used these LED lights, you pay $33. It's significant, okay?
Frederick Mckie and Travis Kane, both of Freeland in the Mariquah Valley, have been arrested and jointly charged for aggravated burglary. They are accused of entering the dwelling house of a Johnny Bramble, armed with a gun, and stealing one bicycle valued at $600 on October 17th. Both the accused appeared at the Kingstown Magistrate Court and were not allowed to plead to the indictable charge. The prosecution had no objection to their bail. However, Mckie was remanded into custody due to the fact that he is presently serving a sentence. Kane was allowed on bail in the sum of $8,000 with one surety. The matter has been adjourned and transferred to the family court to be heard on November 24th for a date to be set for the preliminary inquiry. Meanwhile, Rhonda Ashton, a resident of Fairhall, has been ordered to stand trial at the next practical sitting of the criminal session on an indictable charge of grievous bodily harm. The order came earlier today at the Serious Offences Court from Chief Magistrate Rashan Brown Matthias at the conclusion of the preliminary inquiry. Reports are that on July 28, 2013, the victim, Warren Allen, a 43-year-old Mason of North Union, who shared a common law relationship with Ashton, was asleep at her residence at Fairhall when she reportedly doused him with a mixture of hot water and pepper sauce. This is said to have resulted in severe burns to Allen's body. He was a patient at the male surgical ward at the Milton CATO Memorial Hospital for 7 days.